How's it going, everybody? It's Sunday, which means it's time for an event video with Scotty. Before we jump into this week's coming events, though, I just want to talk about last week's, or what is currently running's leaderboard event, the Mutants vs. Zombies, which, of course, was switched to Tech Gear from Skill Gear. Pretty interesting random swap they did. How did you feel about this? I personally kind of prefer the Tech Gear. The Datamines maybe make me regret that, though, because there's a lot of skill characters that look pretty good for that. But how did you feel about the swaparoo?
I mean, I don't care because I've just been buying everything because I don't know who I'm bringing and I don't refresh the store because I don't waste cores on that.
Yeah.
So I just buy everything I see, and so far I haven't run out of coins yet.
Yeah.
I think the issue with them doing this last minute is everybody read the blog,
Yep.
saw that it was skill,
Yep.
and said, I'm not going to buy skill gear in my free refreshes. And then they decided, like an hour before the event went live, that they were switching it to Tech Gear. Didn't say anything about it to anyone, but people noticed.
Well, yeah, on stream, we literally saw it changing in real time because they changed each bracket individually. So it's like there was one tech piece, one skill piece, and there was all skill pieces below, and like every 10 minutes, one line would change, and it was like, what are they doing?
So, like, doing that last minute when people are planning ahead, making certain purchases, like, based on information given. And I know it's like the blog is subject to change, but when the event goes live and is in preview and it has those pieces, people then confirm, all right, then it's skill again. I'm going to plan accordingly. So I think it is really, if they do this time and time again, where they don't fix things right away, and then they do it last minute, and they just make a worse situation even worse.
Yeah. Like, there's like, okay, everyone thought it was stupid that they would still keep it as skill, but nobody was planning poorly because of it, right? So they should have just left it. It's kind of weird. But I wanted to give you my experience with this leaderboard because I did go kind of hard on this leaderboard. I did buy one of the Daredevil Honor Orbs, which I'm now seeing was a huge bad investment. Obviously got my war battles done. I don't have any of these characters at 5 stars because I don't buy characters. I did spend about 6,000 power cores on Silver Sable. I ended up getting like the minimum drops on her for 60. I said I wasn't gonna do that, but I'm trying to stay in the top 1,000, so I just let it go. And I've been buying the daily pop-up offer when you do the free claim there for $5 because it is worth a good, I think it's worth 7,000 points, which, like, on a dollar value is the highest value you can get, which I thought was kind of interesting.
You were incorrect.
I mean, correct? It doesn't matter. What I do want to talk about is...
Dorky doesn't ask me these questions. He just does things, and then he says inaccurate information.
No, wait, so it's $7
the pop-up offer
for 7,000.
Is...
Yeah. And this
is 7,000 points for $7, which is 1,000 points per dollar.
Yeah.
The $25 offer is 28,000 points, which is 1120 points per dollar.
Okay. 1102. I don't know shit.
I always look at this just like so I can like gauge people and like direct them, but Dorky doesn't ask me. He just does his own math.
What we did figure out is that this Daredevil Modern Diamond Orb is trash unless you're buying it for the diamonds, right?
Yeah, like, because that one is worth 770 points per dollar, so that's terrible.
Yeah, this is just straight garbage. So if you're trying to make a last second push, this is going to be your best bet. If you want to get to around where I'm at in the leaderboards, and you haven't bought anything yet, and you use like your normal amount of cores, you're probably gonna have to buy that 3, if not 4 times. I feel like this leaderboard was actually a pretty competitive one. Yeah, would you agree with that?
I haven't really paid much attention to it, to be honest, but I feel like it's similar. I haven't noticed it getting super crazy, but maybe tomorrow.
Right on. Well, there you go. All right, so let's talk about this week's events then. So we have the See No Evil event, Open Daredevil Modern Orb. Yay, there's another one of those. Clear one wave in Battle World. I'm sure we're all going to max this one out. Blitz with any character gear tier 20. You literally only have to have one character gear tier 20 to max this guy out. Then we have use Starjammers at 5, 6, and 7 yellow stars. This is a week-long event, so we will have 3 Crucible days for this, which means that the 3 free characters that you should all have at 7 yellow stars, the Rocket Groot and the Landra, is going to do a lot of lifting for you here, right? Because you can only You get credit basically for 10, and we could use those 3 characters 3 times. So you're really only going to miss 1 character at the 7, 6, or 5-star ranking, depending on where you have your Howard and Havoc. So you're pretty much going to max this out too. And then there's the Seed of Evil Milestone event. Do I have that pretty much right?
Correct.
Perfect. So let's talk about the tracks you have for us. Because, yeah, this is a pretty simple event because it should just be if you are like a mid-game to just engaged player. I assume if you're watching this video, you're pretty engaged. You're probably going to be completing that Crucible aspect and the Battle World aspect. So why don't you walk us through this?
Yeah, so I forgot to take the 1,000 points off because if you only have the 3 of them, because everyone should have a Lander, Groot, and Rocket at 7.
Yeah.
I forgot to take that off that one spot, but that will not cost you. You should still be able to hit all the milestones this way. But basically, I have the 2 tracks where it's like the spender track where you probably have at least Havoc or Howard at 7. So that's kind of maxing that. The earn 1 X coin payday orb fragment. So last time we got that from Tower, they didn't indicate that it's coming from anywhere this time. So I assume it's just going to be offers. So I left it at 0 just as like a base.
Yeah.
I did include like the diamond orb fragments just in case you're getting those. They may change that offer if they watch this video and see how crappy it is. I don't know. So then maybe they'll increase the amount of milestone points with it because it comes with 400 milestone points as well.
Okay.
But I just kind of showed the max, which is 17. And then the next track is kind of the you're not buying any of those orbs, but still kind of maxing out the rest of it. So doing your battle world waves, the blitzing with I took off the blitz with 1 gear tier 20 because maybe people don't want to make that kind of decision yet, because even with that included, it doesn't get you till milestone 16, so I took it off just to show that either way you're going to be at milestone 15 anyway. The only thing that may change this is the free claims, because I don't know what they're going to be. I just kind of went based on the last battle world milestone.
Yeah.
So if it's better, it might be even easier to get there. Yeah. So it's kind of just the 2 tracks simplified.
Right on. And you know what? I didn't pull it up, but I'll go grab it. Let's look at that milestone and see what we're actually going to be getting from hitting. It was milestones 17 and milestone. Oh, this is not the right one. Milestone 17 and milestone 15. Because this is going to be our free-to-play unlock for Daredevil, right?
Yeah. So you will get, because it's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 shards free-to-play. So, like, you unlock him free-to-play.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you get all the way to 15. We're even getting an extra 150,000. And then for milestone 17, you would get a 2 diamond, what is that? 2 diamond orbs, okay? And then 250,000 X coins. 10 million gold is kind of nice. 15 Alpha Flight ciphers. This is a low number. What is this? This is still Gear 219?
Let me go look in the preview.
I would find it weird if this is Gear 219 and it's such a low number. But some good stuff here. Free to play unlock. We like that. We got some gold. We do get 3 million gold free to play. Another 750, 500,000. We're definitely getting gold in other places. I've noticed that my gold isn't exactly struggling to keep up with leveling new characters. I know I just hit a 25 million jackpot on a Mega Gold Orb, so that definitely helped. But it doesn't seem to be super duper struggling.
Yeah, they don't have it in preview, which is interesting. Concerning.
I guess we'll see what that's gonna be. And then we have the Alliance event, the Chaotic Storm event. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. We can go in game and look at the preview for this one. There's no tricks here. We get 100% max this out as your Alliance as long as everyone's active, right?
It's an exact clone of the last 2.
Right. And the best part about this is 100% free to play completable. And for free to play players, it looks like they've taken all the gold that was in the premium track of the Strike Pass, and they've slotted it in here in the form of gold orbs and the Mega Gold Orb. Like I just said, I actually pulled a 25 million from here. I'm not saying that that's the only way, if you pull a jackpot, you actually make up that gold. No, you get like 60 some gold orbs from this, which is pretty crazy. Definitely devalues the Strike Pass itself. So if you're a Strike Pass player, kind of an interesting position to find yourself in. But otherwise, not bad. How have you found these events leading up to Professor X? Because he is coming tomorrow. We're going to see the first couple of Professor Xavier's in game. Any thoughts on the events leading up to him compared to the events that led up to Odin?
Well, I wasn't really here for Odin.
Well, you're here for the build up. You just left like a month before.
Yeah,
You were doing
I
the
mean,
purple ISO.
I was like, there was that event store. I remember. I just it seems so long ago. I feel like this one has been more gradual because like I feel like with that one it was even harder to prepare because like brawler, protector ISOs, blaster ISOs, like it was hard to actually know what you needed, and you were having to like buy that stuff ahead of time, like in the store, not knowing that what the orb was gonna like cheap
Mm-hmm.
you out on eventually. Like it just was. I felt it was harder to prepare for. Um,
But there was a lot more time in between when they started giving out purple ISO when Odin came out. Because it's only been what, a month or a month and a half since we started getting Gear Tier 20?
I mean, this is still better than the last. What was it, DD
Mephisto? A
7?
billion times better. Oh yeah.
Where they were
Billion times
like, "Here is Dark Dimension. We haven't actually given you anything for it yet,
better.
so good luck." And all the Krakens were like, "How do I buy this stuff?" There's no way.
But you know what, Scotty? There's
What?
another foot to that argument. And that is that we have been getting Gear Tier 20 so far. And what they didn't tell us, apparently, according to this data mine that's on Reddit from Casper, who I have seen drop accurate data mines in the past, they have put literal game mods onto the nodes in the Xavier saga. For instance, they are letting Daredevil, Hitmonkey, and Silver Sable have the benefits of their raid abilities. Now they recommend it unofficially. They didn't tell you like, oh, because they're gonna have their raid stuff available. So the question then becomes like, this is a very very strong difference, right? Does this make these characters not just quite recommended but necessary? Because these are apparently the enemies we can see on this node, which is going to be a full Black Order, a Ghost Rider Robbie, a Cosmic Ghost Rider, then we got a Photon, another Thanos, and a Starbrand. Wave 3, Darkhold with Dormammu. Like this is kind of crazy, right? Like, do we actually need these raid abilities now? Because, well, let's see, it's gonna be anti-revive. There would be no messy with my focus. Who knows if Cosmic Ghost Rider is gonna have his war stuff turned on? Because there is data mines, there's going to be war stuff turned on in the other sections. So that, I think, is actually kind of scummy for them to do and not tell us ahead of time while still giving us the Gear Tier 20.
Yep.
Speaking of which, then we have the Global Hero section. They suggested Liberty. Well, War is going to be active on that. So people who wanted to bring, say, Orcus into the Global Villain section, you're still good. Because there's no good global villains on emotes. They didn't put anything there. But for
So
Global
why would
Hero,
they only turn on like the 3 of Vigilante? Why wouldn't they just give the whole like why wouldn't they just turn on the whole Vigilante team?
because the two new characters don't do anything. Sorry, the two reworks don't do anything. There's nothing interesting in their passes or anything like that. So it just wouldn't matter. I still have a Gear Tier 20 Punisher. I'm still gonna find a way to get through it without having to bring like Daredevil mod.
I just thought that some of their abilities needed the full team, like for Daredevil and Silver Sable. Like I feel like, and
Yeah.
Hitmonkey, I feel like there's something in there that needs the other two to be active in.
Yeah, but they've
the raid
taken that
aspect.
off. They've done that before in Pocket Dimension as well.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously if that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yep. For Global Hero, you would have access to Liberty for sure. They're all heroes. There's also the Astral Team, right? Emma Frost, X-Men. Doctor Strange is cosmic. He doesn't work. Moondragon's cosmic, but you would have Emma, Ancient One. So you can mix up a little bit here. I know a lot of players, myself included, I was eyeballing this section to be my mutant section. I was going to go heavy mutants for the Global Hero. We still can. You still have Old Man Logan is a war character. He's a global hero. Same with a character like Panda, Pool, or Dakin, though I don't want to put Gear 220 on those characters. Then we have
Really, Dakin? I thought you'd be all over Dakin. You love him.
I do love Dakin. Oh, Dakin's a villain. Dakin's a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Rip. Yeah, rip for sure. The cosmic villain section here, we're gonna have war active as well. it doesn't matter for cosmic villain. You're using Mephisto, you're using Null, you're using Endgame Thanos. You don't give a shit that it's war. It's probably just to make it so the enemies are a little bit harder here. Although the enemies are apparently in teal gear, which is kind of awkward. But yeah, as you can see, they would have war open so that they would have somebody like Dawkins to mess with your Mephisto. The rest of these are not. Oh, here you go. We got anti-speed bar if you try and bring Skrull in there. Actually, no, it's raids only, but he does stuff. Lots of stuff happening here. I don't know. I saw these Datamines and I was really, really, I was down on it. I don't like this. I didn't like when they did this in Battle World. I certainly don't like them doing this when it comes to a Dark Dimension character, because it is all but telling you like these are the teams you're gonna have to use, which I'm not sold on that yet. We'll see when the first players are going through it. I got a couple links to a couple of them. I'll talk to them and see what they think about the nodes, if they were actually hard, or if these nodes. My thought was that these nodes are going to be so stupid easy, because if people come in here with like good characters but they can't get through the nodes on a 3-star, and then they can't unlock Professor X even though they have enough characters to gear to 20, they're going to be really unhappy, like really unhappy. And Scopely would have been a really big asshole to do that, to be honest with you. Because if you gave this to us ahead of time, and we know the problem we have to craft our way through, that's one thing. Doing it when the mode goes live after selling Gear Tier 20 for a month and a half is trash. This one's Cosmic Crucible, the lander, so obviously it's pushing you to do like Star Jammers with Odin here, because of course you would do Odin. Anyway, I just thought this was interesting. Any thoughts on this?
I mean, because they did that in not the tower. What was before the tower? There was the thing where Liberty had its things turned on.
Kill 'em.
Like, I did like it because, like, you have this new team that you haven't really used very much, and I hadn't really used Liberty very much. So I got to, like, play with them more in the mode and actually have their traits turned on where it was more enjoyable. So I do kind of like that. I just wish they would have told us ahead of time, but I have not like gear tier 20 very many people, except like the ones that I thought were the instant locks, like Odin and Endgame Thanos.
Right.
But I've been seeing people just like do tons of gear tier 20s on people.
Well, I myself did Punisher, because I was like, okay, well, if the 3 Vigilante are being recommended, I know how ass those characters are. So it's going to be the Odin Blade show, and I'll bring Punisher, and I'll probably bring Hitmonkey and Sable anyway, but I did not plan on bringing Daredevil Modern, because that's, I mean, the team's garbage outside of raids, and they still are. I mean, plug and play may be a bit different, but anyway, yeah, I'm not a fan of seeing this as something I'm going to have to do without having all those raid buffs, but I guess we'll see how things go.
I just wish they would communicate. That's like the biggest thing. Like, this is a big, like, this could be a great thing if it had been announced at the start, where people could plan better. Yeah. And to me, this also means maybe they looked at these nodes and went, crap, these guys aren't going to be able to beat this. We have to do this now. And this is like a last minute change. And that's why we don't know about it. I don't know.
Oof, that would be real bad. That would be real bad. I really like Casper's work here, though. He even tells us how much turn bar they're going to spawn in with. So this is really, really cool.
Nice.
I'll probably make a whole video just looking at this stuff tomorrow. Anyway, anything you want to say to everybody before we go? Just pretty much easy event week. Make sure your Alliance is doing your Alliance stuff, and make sure you're beating Battle World, and go from there, right?
I mean, the big thing is there are a bunch of Command Center events that I don't know any of the math on, because it doesn't say anything about how much things are worth. It just kind of gives you a vague idea of what you'll be doing.
Yeah.
Like, the idea is, I guess, to transition all events to this over time, and that seems to be what's happening, because, I mean, I have less math to do right now, but I feel like it's going to make it harder for me to prepare you guys for stuff going forward, because I may not find out about this stuff until literally it goes live. And I personally find, looking at the Command Center, it's hard to like see the overall picture of it when you have like these daily events, these weekly events, and monthly events, and sometimes they seem to change in the event as well, so you don't always know if they're going to stay the same for the whole thing. So I don't know what to do with it. I personally hate the Command Center.
You know what? I hated the search feature, but I eventually got used to it. I see what they're going for here. I get it, right? Like,
I see it, but then you look at this and you're like, okay, but like, as they move to events where like parts of these are not easily completable or aren't planned to be completable, like all these events, there's parts that are like you have to buy offers to get. I'm going to find it really hard to tell people like this is where you're going to get in this because you're not going to finish it. Like this is where you'll stop.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to make it really hard to math it out, in my opinion.
Oh, like if there's no charts kind of indicating points like that, instead of like,
Yeah.
because yeah, like right here we're getting like 10 stars, which then
Yeah.
once we get to this, it gives you that sort of thing. Yeah, like I definitely think they shouldn't abandon the chart system they currently have, but we'll see if they do. Anyway, this video ran a little bit long. Thank you so much, Scotty.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much, Scotty. Bye, everybody. Bye bye.